There is another issue that everybody's jumping on at this point because it really exposed a divide between members of the GOP who were up on that stage on Tuesday night, and it is immigration. Senator Cruz is quite close to Trump's stance on immigration. Cruz at the debate said if Republicans follow Democrats' lead, they might as well hand Hillary Clinton the keys to the White House.
The Democrats are laughing. Because if Republicans join Democrats as the party of amnesty, we will lose.
We are joined now by two men who have personally had to deal with the issue of immigration. Phil Bredesen is the former Democratic governor from the state of Tennessee, and Bill Owens is the former Republican governor from Colorado. You did have dividing opinions here, gentlemen. I mean, Jeb Bush and John Kasich virtually said the same thing. You've got to be realistic. You've got to find a path forward for the 11 million undocumented workers who are here. But I'll start with Governor Bredesen. In Tennessee, people might think, oh, you don't have an immigration issue, but you actually do. You have a significant percentage in that state. So tell us how you feel best to deal with something like this.
We do have a significant percentage of immigrants in our state, and I think most people, when you get outside of just the mechanics of a presidential campaign, know that there's an issue here that's got to be solved. There's real issues. There's ethical issues and economic issues and fairness issues, and are looking for just some paths forward. I don't think either party is exactly right on this issue right now. It needs some intelligent work. This is not something that came up, you know, in the last few years. It's been going on for decades now, and it's going to take some time to fix.
Governor Owens, Hillary Clinton, the Democratic frontrunner, was tweeting today in response to what Donald Trump said, and that was involving something that he termed as a humane deportation force on the border. And she wrote, the idea of tracking down and deporting 11 million people is absurd, inhumane, and un-American. No, Trump. Governor Owens, better ideas? Colorado has its own issues with immigrants.
You know, we did and we do, and I'd actually agree with my former colleague from Tennessee. I think that once you get out of perhaps the Beltway, there's actually a lot of people who want to just do the right thing, want to come up with ways to address this issue. I think it does start with strong borders. Let's stop current and new illegal immigration. I think it makes a lot of sense, and my party thinks it makes a lot of sense to have strong sanctions and rules against breaking the law while here, and you shouldn't be able to come back here repeatedly without going to prison. But having said that, I think there is a middle ground both within my party, and with 10 or 12 candidates on the stage, you're going to have a lot of divergence, a lot of debate. But I think by the time we come back down to this by next year, we're going to have a more unified front.
Well, you've got 11 million undocumented workers, and by the way, Barack Obama, many experts on both sides of the aisle would say, got a lot of the Hispanic vote. In fact, 70% of it when he was running for president. They do vote. They do care. So, Governor Bredesen, when you have that issue front and center, is it as simple as something like a deportation force, or does that seem a bit heavy-handed? I mean, even Bill O'Reilly. Do we have that sound, Brad? We do not. Okay, well, Bill O'Reilly last night took on Donald Trump and said, you can't do that. It would never be allowed, and it isn't humane. A lot of people died when, you know, Eisenhower did it.
Right. And, you know, in this country, we also did it back in the 1930s under a Democratic president. It doesn't work. It's inhumane. I mean, people who are, that's just pandering to a base of votes. There are real issues here, and I mean, my sense is of people in my state, both Democrats and Republicans, the same as I think Bill is saying, is that people know there's a problem. Most people know a lot of these people in some form or another, and they want some reasonable solution. We do have to protect the borders. We do have to regularize this process, but that's not going to happen through something like, you know, repeating what Eisenhower did.
But Governor Owen, that's what the Gang of Eight came up with. That was a bipartisan group of senators, including Marco Rubio, that worked together. I think Chuck Schumer was on there. You had Bennett from Colorado. You had Lindsey Graham, Jeff Flake, who's a Republican. They came together and they came up with an idea for their immigration stance, and it involved better border protection, but it also had things like visa tracking, and it was bipartisan, and suddenly Marco Rubio is pounded for having participated in something like that. Is that fair?
No, you know, and Liz, and basically it's the political season, and it's a time when if you put candidates on on a platform and have them try to distinguish themselves in relatively small ways. I support what the Gang of Eight came together to do, and I think that whoever of the normal Republicans that is nominated, and we have a great and wide and good field of solid candidates, I think whoever my party nominates, we're going to have a very good chance to reach out to Hispanics. I want a majority of Hispanic votes my second race. Both of the Governor Bushes did. It's a people that's really there for my party as well as our Democratic friends if we're rational about it, and there is a way to be rational about it.
Governor Owen, are you endorsing any of the candidates we saw on the stages on Tuesday night?
You know, it's not from the debate, but I've been a friend of Jeb Bush for many, many years, and I've endorsed Jeb Bush. But having said that, I think there are 5 or 6 other candidates up there who would make outstanding presidents, and I'll be happy to support any of them.
Governor Bredesen, what about you?
I haven't endorsed anybody yet. There's 3 people in the race, and I know them, and I'm just kind of in a wait and see at this point.
Okay, like the billionaire Charles Koch, who said he's waiting and he's waiting. He has to decide.
well, there are some differences between us.
I know. I get it completely, but we love the differences among both sides of the aisle, so we appreciate it. Thank you both for being here. Governors Phil Bredesen and Bill Owens, both of you. It's a pleasure to have you.